Hello, everybody. Welcome to Why Wednesday, where we share words of wisdom. Today, we're going to be talking about learn how to release. Learn how to release. And I think oftentimes we allow people to dump on us. We go through things and we hold a smile on our face. We act like nothing hurt us, nothing bothered us, nothing concerned us about this issue or a series of issues that we may be going through. Sometimes you experience things consecutively, one thing after the next. Sometimes you may walk into a situation where it's hostile or it's toxic, or you may be under some kind of pressure. But people always say, and I've heard this phrase before, say, never let them see you sweat. Well, I think that's just like a wrong teaching, because there are times where you will sweat and you have to allow that sweat to come out, because it's toxic to you to allow it to stay within you. If you're eating food, you know that that food has to go somewhere. It just cannot stay in your body. If you're bagged up in your digestive tract, your bowels and all of that, you can die over a period of time. If that food is still stuck in you, if it's still stuck in your bowels are locked up and you can't release, you will potentially die. That's what stress does to you. That's what toxic things that you internalize does to you. It can cause you to have all kind of external things happen to you, because inwardly you're holding in something that is not good for you. And maybe there were some things that, I'll go back to the food. When you're eating something, what your body does is it takes out the nutrients, it takes out what is good, and it benefits from that. Your body uses that for fuel, energy. It goes to where it needs to go to fuel you, so that you can maintain, that you can be healthy, that you can get all of your nutrients, your minerals, vitamins out of the food. But what is left over has to be excreted from you through urine, through what. And so that has to come out of you. And then that, it's especially like, when we're looking at situations, you're going through things, and you're allowing that thing to deal with you in your innermost parts, your heart, your mind, because you're having to process this stuff. Your heart, because it may have hit you a certain way, it made you feel a certain way, it tapped into your emotions. And sometimes it's good, it's healthy to be able to deal with certain situations, different types of situations, because a lot of times the things that hit us, that we encounter, we've never encountered it before, and so it's like we're new to it. So it's like it's training us for where we're trying to go, wherever God is taking us. But in the process of all of that, you're going to take out everything that is beneficial for you. And then when it's time to release, it's time to release that which is not beneficial to you. You got to be able to sweat. You got to be able to, because that helps with your skin, it helps with your pores, it helps with your heart, it helps with your mind, it helps with your body. Because what we tend to find out is that stress kills. We talked about, I think I may have mentioned this a time before, kind of hidden and missing about stress. But stress can actually kill you, because if sometimes you can be stressed and not even know that you are stressed, and sometimes, and I've been told a few times in my life as well that you look like you're just so unbothered by things that happen. Believe you me, there are times when I try to hold things together, but when I go off into my little space, or when I go home, or I have to detox myself. I've had to do that like several weeks ago. My blood pressure was up high. Why? Because I went into a stressful environment, and the radars, the bullets were aiming at me on my job. And it's like the state was there, and it was just so much going on. And so I handled everything in a professional way, because that's just who I am. But at the same time, I'm human. I had to come home and come down from that high, because I was way up here. And I had to find a way to bring my pressure down naturally, because that that causes sometimes when you're in those types of situations to be full of anxiety, full of fear, full of nervousness, and you're irritable, and it's like you have to find a way to release yourself. So I came home, I took my shoes off, I went walking outside in the grass. I just was smelling the air, looking at the trees, listening to the birds, doing that type of thing, and just trying to get to a place where I calm myself down. And so after I did that, I came in, took a shower, what have you, and then I went into my room, lights out, everything, and just sat in the dark and just listened to nothing. And that was my way of calming myself down. And I checked my blood pressure. My blood pressure was back down to norm because I had to realize that this stuff that I had that I allowed to affect me in my environment, I had to let that stuff go. I had to release myself from that. So I had to find a way to do it. And whatever your way is, you need to figure out what that is for you, you know? And sometimes talking may be beneficial. Sometimes if you can talk this stuff out, sometimes when you can breathe it out, sometimes when you can just take your mind away from it, you don't want to listen to anything and just get into a quiet place. Nothing's going on. It's dark. The air is blowing, your air condition, whatever, and you're just taking in deep breaths in and out and just thinking about nothing, and sometimes that helps. You have to find out what helps you, but to be in a stressful situation, to not be at a place where you can release, that's not healthy. If you're dealing with grief, loss, all of that, you have to find a way to release. When people tell you don't cry, that's not a good strategy. Let people release themselves. The tears is helpful. The tears is beneficial, and then they talk about how when you go to a psychiatrist and all that, and they allow you to do that. They allow you to express yourself. Let people express themselves however they feel is best suited for them. I may not be a crier. I may not be one that gets angry and just vents off or whatever. I may not be that type person, but however God made me, he made me this way. I have to figure out, as all of us, we have to figure out what is healthy. What is a healthy release for us? We as Black people, I think a lot of mental illness and all of that is overlooked in our population because we don't go to doctors and we don't get counseling. We don't go through that. We don't encourage that. And but if you're not going, then you got to share it with somebody, or you got to find a way to manage yourself, because it can get a little difficult trying to manage, and you trying to be strong for everybody when you got to be strong for, what I'm saying, somebody needs to be strong for you. You trying to do everything, you trying to be the hero, and you trying to make sure everything is taken care of. What about somebody trying to help and see if you need to be taken care of? So that's why I'm always a proponent and in full support of people investing in themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because no one is going to invest more in you than you. Because you only have one you. God gave you yourself. And every little thing that goes on with you, every little problem and situation that you have, your quirks and all that, he made you like that. But you have to find a way, like I said, to invest in yourself in the way of find out what's healthy for you to be able to release yourself in a legal way. You know what I'm saying? Some people drink wine. I don't have a problem with wine drinkers, people who like to casually drink wine or what have you. It's not an issue for me. But, whatever convicts you, that's something that you have to abstain from. If you're feeling convictions about certain things, then, that's between you and God. When you have a relationship with God, he will abstain you from certain things. Now, certain things I can't do anymore because I'm in Christ, and just God just pulls me and say, look, I don't want you to mess up your witness. Therefore, I can't allow you to connect yourself with those things that you used to do in the world. So I just can't do those things. Am I apologizing for it? No. I mean, am I upset about it? Not really. I mean, if I love God, like I said, I do, then I want to do what pleases him. And I want to make sure that I'm in the clear about some things, so that, I won't damage, like I said, my witness, and I want to encourage other people by living a healthy, saved life, And so, like I said, learn how to release yourself in a healthy way. Learn what you need to do to keep yourself on a positive note. Listening to good music, listening to encouraging positive music, listening to gospel music, and there's a lot of positivity in gospel music. You wouldn't believe there's so many different artists out there. It's like that genre of music right there alone will probably be more than enough for you. And self-help books, motivational books to keep you encouraged to know that you can do this, that other people have experienced some of the same things that you have experienced, but that you don't give up in your journey, because this journey God chose for you. He knew that you could bear. He said he wouldn't put no more on you than you could bear. And so if he's giving it to you, then he believes and he knows that you're going to get through it. Matter of fact, in addition to that, he's right there to help you along the way. So in that's just an added bonus, so I'm coming right back. I'm pulling us back to the theme, the topic. Learn how to release yourself, you know, and, because we want to be able to live our best lives. We want to be able to have a longevity of life. We want our 70 plus, you know what I'm saying? We want to be able to live 70 years plus the whatever else is there, the extended part, additional 20, 30, 40 more years, God promised us 70, you know. And so we want the promises of God to fall upon us. We want to be able to see our children grow up, our grandchildren, be able to see some of the fruits of our labor and, just enjoying our life. But we got to be here to do that. So we got to learn, like I said, how to release ourselves. I'm helping somebody, and I'm having to reteach my own self about this, because we find ourselves in these situations. I'm telling you, when one thing hits after the next, sometimes it can be a whirlwind. It can be like a tornado twisting, and you don't know which way you going and which way you coming. And so you have to know what is healthy for you. What do you need to do? And sometimes taking a few days off that job is necessary. You know what I'm saying? It's called taking a mental health break. It may not be that you're sick. People say I'm taking sick leave. It may just be you're taking a mental health break. The young lady that I'm covering for, because I'm a full-time PRN therapist, speech therapist, so I just cover for people who may be on maternity leave or, whatever the case may be. But this current coverage that I'm doing, this young lady decided that she just wanted to leave for a few months, a mental health break. She didn't have any sicknesses going on. She just, because of all the things that has been happening, and she was really dealing with a lot of the, with the COVID, the coronavirus actually spreading throughout that facility, and having to go in and out, and masking up, PPE, full, you name it. And so going through all of that emotional stuff, she's like, I need a break. I just need to get away. I need 2 or 3 months off. I just need to get myself together. That's healthy. That's healthy, because she invested in herself. She thought of her needs, what she needed, more so than what her job needed her to do. Because if she's not there, then guess what they're going to do? They're going to hire someone else. So she has to invest in herself. And that is what she's doing. And I applauded her on that because I know, it's just it's like that sometimes. And sometimes, like I tell single mothers, and I'm sorry, I'm having to make this too long. I tell single mothers, you know, learn how to invest in you. Take you just some time away from your family, your children, because you have those children that you feel like, well, if I'm not there, if I'm not doing this, not doing that, then things ain't gonna go well. You have to find a way, whether it's grandma, your mom, your dad, whomever, to help. And even if they're not young children, if they can be at home by themselves, uh, or if you're sending them off to school, and you just there at the house, get out the house. Go somewhere, pamper yourself. Go get your nails done, get your hair done. Go take a walk in the park, Go check out the scenery. Go to a lake somewhere and just listen to the water. And just sit out there for a few hours, whatever you need. But learn how to invest in yourself. I'm telling you some good stuff now. Telling you some good stuff now. And I'm not going to hold you any longer. I'm going to go on and cut off right here. But I pray that this message finds you in a good place. And I hope that something that I have said has encouraged you in some way to do what we're talking about. And so you all be blessed continuously. Have a blessed week. And I will see you again for another Wild Wednesday. All right, you guys. Bye-bye now.